Hi there, Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with a practice tip of the day. This one's for the intermediate player, and today I want to continue our discussion on finding different chord voicings up and down the neck for some different common chords. And today I want to focus on the A minor chord. You're going to like this one because this one's probably the easiest one you're going to run across to do. You don't have to move, you have to move your hand, but you don't have to change any fingers around for the most part. So with this little technique, we can do stuff like this. That was basically an A minor chord, and of course you wouldn't do it that much, you know, while you're playing a song. You would drive your audience crazy, and but you would use it in, you know, in more subtle ways. I just wanted to kind of demonstrate all of them real quick. But you would, you know, do stuff like this, you know, and you know, work in one occasionally, you know, or you know, you kind of. And even that was too many to my ear. But anyway, but you want to have this as a tool available. All right, so let's take a look at what we just did. All right, so the first thing we need to do, we need to understand what an A minor chord. Any minor chord is the first note, the flatted third note, and the fifth note of the major scale, the root note. So in the key of what an A minor chord is, it's an A note, a C note, and an E note. The A note is the first note of an A scale, A major scale. The C note is the flatted third note of an A major scale, and the E note is the fifth. And we also have to understand that seconds, fourths, and sixths also sound very nice, you know, as coloration notes to put in there. So any place we do that, it's going to just give it a little nice little ring to it. And with minor chords, it's not the case with major chords, but always. It's not always the case with major chords, but with minor chords, the flatted seventh note sounds nice too, the dominant seventh. In most instances, you can substitute any minor chord, any chord progression with the same minor seventh chord, and vice versa. The only instance I can think of where you couldn't substitute them is when you need both the minor, the plain minor, and the minor seventh in a particular progression to give it some motion. But other than that, I mean, they're perfect substitutes. All right, so let's talk about the notes we're working with. So all we're doing, we're looking for different places up on the neck where we can play A notes, C notes, E notes. That's the main A minor chord. That dominant seventh note, that flatted seventh note, is a G note. And our second is a B. Our fourth is an E. I'm sorry, a D. And our sixth, I don't think I put any sixth in there, but our sixth would be an F sharp note. So it gives us a lot of possibilities, and that's why we can move that same. There's so many possibilities, and that's why we can move that same kind of fingering up and down the neck. And basically, all I'm doing, it's almost just following the dots on your guitar. So anyway, so let's take a look at the places we went. All right, so this is your traditional A minor chord. We're not going to talk about that because you already know that one. So what I did as the first stop along the way, it doesn't have to be your first stop. I'm just kind of doing them in order as we go up the neck. I'm going to go up here, and what I'm doing, what I did for all those. We have our open fifth string is an A, so I just let it ring for all of them. Our open first string is an E, that belongs in the A minor chord, so I just let that one ring and everything. And our open B string is the second, so that's a nice coloration note. So I let all those ring, and I just kind of moving moving stuff around in the middle. So as I went over here, I have my open A, and then over here I have a G note, and that makes it that's the dominant seventh note. So that one's nice. That's my C note that belongs in the traditional A minor chord. And I have my open B and my open E. Then I moved it up again, and by the way, I'm playing a guitar with no dots in the front. This is the fifth fret. These two fingers are in the fifth fret. So I have dots over here on top. And all I did for the next one, I just move it up to the next dot. This is the seventh fret. So now I'm not going to call out the open string, so I'm using them for all of them, the open A, the open B, the open E. And over here in the middle, I have, in the seventh fret, I have an A note, which of course belongs in A minor. And on the third string, I have a D note, which is the fourth. So also sounds nice. All right, moved up again to the ninth fret, same open strings, and on the fourth string I have a B note, which is the second. Sounds nice, nice coloration texture note. And on the third string, what do I have here? I have an E note there. All right, so which belongs in the chord. And then I moved it up into the 12th fret, and I have on the 4th string now, I have a D note, which is the 4th. And on the 3rd string, I have a G note, which is that dominant 7th again. So this is an A minor 7. Oh, and plus I have the B note there. So it's an A minor 7 chord with the 2nd added in there. So it'd be like A minor 7 add 2. You know. I'll actually be A minor 7 sus 2 because we don't have the. That's another lesson. But because there's no C sharp note in here. I'm trying not to cover too many topics in here, but this is an A minor 7 sus 2 because the 3rd is not in there, and we'll cover that in another lesson. This is just semantics. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter for theory, but not for this lesson. So, and then what I did when I moved it up here, I'm in the 12th fret right now, and then I took it up to the 14th fret, which is a full octave higher than where your original A minor chord was. And I can either put this one back down for my C note, or I can leave it off and have that 2nd in there. And just for sense of, these two fingers or these 2 strings down here tend to pull everything together when you're kind of messing around with that. I just let them ring open as kind of like, you know, drone strings, for a lack of a better term. So instead of going ahead and putting the full octave note down here, or full octave chord, I just let them ring. So anyway, like I said, that one's pretty simple. You just kind of follow the basically the dots on your guitar, and it pretty much lands you in the right place for everything. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Experiment around with this kind of stuff, because it's easy to get kind of bored playing just, you know, 4 measures of an A minor chord, you know, and it's boring for you as the player, and it's boring for anybody listening to you. So if you move it around, you're basically doing the same thing, even though we're changing the name of the chord slightly, but they're all A minor substitute chords. It doesn't matter what kind of coloration notes you put in there, as long as they're the proper coloration notes. It's you know, it's a nice substitute, and it provides some nice texture for what you're doing. So anyway, all right. So thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Tune in again tomorrow for another one, and I will see you next time. Thanks.